right away I'm noticing, well, first off, this is the Indian FTR 1200. It's a whole lot of a different stance. It's a lot more, whoa, hey, whoa, touchy brakes. It's a very different stance. It's very forward, like a sport bike, I guess. I don't really know. I've never been on a sport bike, but it's not too bad. I guess. The pegs are kind of under my butt cheeks. My knees are bent quite a bit. Let's pull the visor down so you can hear me a little better and not hear the wind. It doesn't seem to be too extreme. It does have a lot of power. Of course, I've got it set in rain mode, I believe. Nope, standard. Okay. All right, well, there it is. There's a lot of different screens on this. It's pretty fancy. A lot of electronics. The mirrors are up kind of high. I like that. Not 100% sure about this riding position, but we'll take it for a spin. And I've never ridden sport bikes, and I'm not finding that brake on the. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, I'm in first. It's got a gear indicator on it. That's nice. This is a lot different than what I'm used to. There's the stats on it. As you can see it, 120 horse, 85 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed tranny. All right. Whoops. This is a whole different ball game than what I'm used to. Let's works with your gloves, and you can do it on the fly. It does stay upright nicely in slow speeds. The mode, oh geez, these brakes are touchy. Holy crap. And of course, the seat height on this is pretty high, so I'm about 5'9.5". Shoot. So when I'm touching the ground, I'm just barely touching the ground. Get up on the E-way here. Fairly nimble and easy to control. Definitely a lot of wind in your chest. A lot of heat coming off the engine on your legs. This is not something you'd want to do a whole lot of highway driving with. Every time I turn to look at my mirror, it kind of sets my head off a little bit. It feels real tiny. It doesn't really feel like you have a whole lot of bike under you. There's a whole lot of wind resistance. I don't really feel safe on it. It just seems too tiny. And around all these big cars. All that wind cools you down pretty good though. I'm liking that. Slows down pretty well. I wouldn't advise grabbing that shit. It does throttle up pretty good. You got to look down pretty far to see the display. I'll be glad to get off the E-way here in a minute. That will be cool. Oh shit. Lane ends. Nice. Signals are pushed to cancel. It does have a pretty good snappy throttle response. Even in rain mode, it's still pretty good. I think this bike is geared more towards the sport bike rider. Although I don't think that's realistic. You can't squeeze the power out of this V-twin that you can an inline 4. definitely different. I'm not used to. They're pretty, they look unique. I have a price tag starting at, I don't know, like 10 grand or something like that. They can get pretty pricey. I hope that's not an issue. Nice. These pegs aren't built for harness boots. Having a little bit of an issue here with the shifter and the brake lever, the rear brake lever. With my boots, I don't have very big feet. Even for 5'9½", I've got small feet. It's kind of a comfortable ride. It's not real. I pictured it would be a little stiffer than this, but it's not. It's kind of a soft ride, all things considered. Them brakes are touchy. Yeah, don't hit the front one. Shifts are pretty stout. My hands are sore. You're kind of leaning on your hands here. I guess that'd be a stance kind of like a sport bike. This test ride is compliments of demo days at CC Power Sports / Indian of Clarksville in southern Indiana, just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. Going on today and tomorrow, and I'll check out more than one bike. We'll shoot some pretty good video, hopefully get some enough content to do something here, and put out some videos on the channel. Something that'll look good and help us all out. So it cruises pretty good here. It's you know, other than being a little, I'm not used to small bikes like this. Like I said, I've never ridden a sport bike before. I intend to this year. I keep trying to find demo days for like Kawasaki and Honda and it's well balanced. It's very nimble, which I like. Imagine the stance. If I had something like this, I'd have to get used to. Man, leaning on your arms like this makes your arms tired pretty quick. I'm used to, well, all I've ridden is like old Hondas and big bore cruisers. That's I'm not the most experienced rider in the world, but I've ridden a whole lot of Hondas in my lifetime. I own of course, if you watch the channel, I own an old CX500 custom that's set up as a bagger, and then I've got a Honda Shadow Sabre 1100. Wow, this motor's warm. and it's like heating up my legs pretty bad, pretty well. Oh, my wrists are getting sore. How do you, if you're a sport bike rider and you're watching this, tell me what you do about, I mean, the stiffness in your wrists. I mean, it's uncomfortable. How do you, I mean, get your weight off of your wrists when you're riding in this position? Oh man, when you hit the front brake, your weight goes right up on your hands. Again, I will say this thing is balanced well because at low speeds, it's really hard, it's really easy to keep it upright and straight. I probably look a little out of place. I've got on a full face helmet and a leather jacket, or a leather vest, kind of a club style vest. It does flow pretty well. It handles nice, it's nimble. If you're a sport bike rider, you probably should check this out. It's actually a pretty nice bike. I like the fact that it's got a gear indicator on it. Even, I mean, going slow like this, my shadow I'd be having handlebars all over the place. Oops. It's kind of a hard stop. She leans well. Easy to handle. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I'm gonna go out and around him. Got plenty of power to do that. All right, let's get this bad boy back in line. I grab another bike. Hey, if you like the content, go ahead and push that like button. Subscribe if you will. It helps the channel. It helps me. It helps me do more of this stuff. I'm glad to have you watching. Thank you very much. Ride safe. Ride well.